It is time for Game 4 of this series between the universities of Windsor and Waterloo. University of Windsor taking it to the big favorite, the powerhouse Waterloo. Windsor up 2-1 in this series, looking to take it down, and they're throwing out their ace. It's not the ace match, but Tensai is their ace most often. He is the red Protoss in the upper left of Ohana. And he'll be taking on, from Waterloo, looking to hold it together, the blue Zerg, SC Monk. So this is a PVZ on Ohana. I always say this is a Protoss map. This is the Immortal Sentry map. We have a 9 scout coming out here from Tensai. Now, the reason I say that this is the Immortal Sentry map is that it's relatively easy to get across the map without any sort of threat of being caught out in the open. The only real area here of being caught out is right here. That's about it. You can go along the edge here where you're safe. You got a choke here. You've got this area here and this area here, and then you've got a ramp that then leads into this smaller ramp that leads into the third. So aside from pretty much the areas like out near the watchtower, there's pretty much chokes or at least walls you can press against everywhere, and it's actually not that long of a by ground rush distance either. So that is the most common opening here. You can certainly do other openings, but that would be the most likely to see. Now, Tensai doesn't necessarily always go in for that, so we'll have to see what he wants to do. He does get the Nexus first off, thanks to that 9 scout confirming that he's safe to do so. And we'll be following up with, of course, the 17 Forge. Going to get the pylon before the gateway. Stylistic choice there. And we do have another probe moving out to keep an eye on that third base. We don't have any gas as of yet for SC Monk, so nothing really super early, super crazy coming out of the Zerg player, and we don't really expect it, but you never know what's going to happen. There's the gateway. Not a complete wall off. Going to put a zealot in there to complete that. 2 gases going up, of course, for Tensai. Going to go 3 in each. Off of the Nexus first. Very normal on both sides so far. Here comes that third base. Right on schedule. The probe moving into the main base. Doesn't get to scout it. Gets taken out. So he will have to send out another scout to pick up on, to just confirm that that's there. Now he's going to be pretty confident that it is, thanks to the gas scout, but you still want to see that it did in fact go up. Cybernetics core on the way. And there's just not a lot to cover. Both sides going in for very normal builds. We can't really tell how it diverges as of yet. All we can say right now is that neither is going in for any really early crazy cheese play. We're going to see pretty normal play out of Zerg, at least up to 3 bases. Gas for Zerg normally around 6 minutes. You're going to double gas if you don't go in for that earlier Zergling speed, which a bit more popular lately. That you'd get around 4:30 for a gas, but if you're going this later gas, you can get 2 at about 6 minutes, and there we go, 550. And here's a third going up for Tensai. We do have the Robo on the way, but the gas timing seems a little weird. I'm not up on my Protoss timings exactly, so I can't really say, but often in terms of an Immortal Sentry push, you see the first 2 gases, and then around this time you see 2 more. There's the second one. I have to see those around simultaneously, but looks like this is pretty much definitely Immortal Sentry. We'll have to see if he goes for the all-in variation or just to do a really safe expansion. considering the map, considering the timings here, the chrono saved up and being used on these immortals, I would expect an all-in, but we'll have to see there. Roachwarren on the way at a pretty normal timing. Do we have an evolution chamber? We do not. Is often the case that you see an evolution chamber around now. So playing a little greedy here, counting on there not being not being a Stargate or DT, but looks like that Overlord was within vision of that Robo, so that's what makes it possible. Now, there are quite a few Lings coming out and Roaches. If we look at the worker count, he stopped at 46. That is early. Like, that is really early for stopping any sort of two-base all-in push out of a Protoss like this. So we'll have to see the way he's approaching this. This may be just a giant counterattack. Keep all his units over here, hold the watchtower, see when he moves out, and then counter into the main. Counter into the natural. Just delay, delay, delay. Or he could be just trying to engage it heads, straight up if he moves out with too little. That's possible. If he overextends in his move out and isn't careful, that could be a problem, but I'm not sure if that will work. This is a lot of units, though, with no vision on the map. Here comes the move out, and he's got to turn around right now, and he doesn't and gets completely surrounded. That's pretty much it. That's... How do you come back from this? I'm not sure the Warp Prism is going to be the unit to do it. Two Lings get into the base, warping in more and more sentries to hold it off. These roaches could just focus down this forge. Gonna go for the cannon first. Up, doesn't matter, out of position with the sentries. Some roaches get in. And this is pretty bad for the Protoss player. The only thing I can say is that Zerg does not have that many workers himself. We look at the unit count. He has snuck in another round up to 57, but it's not like he had that many units when he was at 70 drones. He's adding this after the fact. And the Protoss player is still at 44 probes, but this is going to be tough. Really, really tough. The immortal count reset. No third base. Not even +1 armor on the way. He does have the robotics bay, so that is going for him. So he'll be able to move into that Colossus production and try and double down on the all-in with Colossi. In terms of the tech, though, that could work out if there's a delayed Spire, perhaps. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get up the count. With this economy, going to be pushing back this Overlord, but that's a very small amount of units with no vision. Be trying to extend like that, and it may cost them. Once again, the Roach is getting into the natural, picking off a Stalker, picking off an Immortal. And Immortals are good, but I'm not sure they're this good. The Colossus gets out. Zerglings moving in. The Colossus doing a lot of work on those Zerglings, so they may be able to hold on just barely here with what he has, but the reinforcements are just streaming across the map. No fourth base, doesn't need it, doesn't want it. Just going to be powering right through with Roachling. Supply 160 to 57. Trying to get out another Immortal, but that's all she wrote. Tensai, GG, all tied up. We're going.